This is an interview with Mrs. Eva Lou Russell for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's Oral History Project. I'm Dr. Horace Huntley. We are at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, and today is May 28th, 1996. Ms. Russell, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk with me today about Birmingham, because I know you've been sort of a pillar, especially for this area of Birmingham. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Let me just ask you, let's start way back.
All right.
Talk about where were you born?
I was born in Marion, Alabama, out in the rural area on our farm. It's down in Perry County, out in the county area.
Yes, ma'am.
But that land was so poor there, we hardly sprout peas, and so we left there after my mother had her first set of twins, and we moved down on white man's plantation.
Oh, I see.
So
Did your folks own your
yes,
land?
they owned the land where I was born.
Okay, and then what, did they sell that land?
I don't know what become of it, to tell the truth. They talked about first one, it was an old family. Just like when they
Okay.
gave you 40 acres of land and
Right.
in the mule, this was my granddaddy's plantation
Okay.
on my daddy's side.
Right.
And so now I don't know what ever become of the land, because a lot of times some of the older people got, some knew a little more than the other that knew how to go about and do things. I don't know whether they sold it or whatever to you.
Okay.
But anyway,
Now you said that was when your mother had the first set of twins.
she had her first set of twins there.
Did she have more than one set of
She had
twins?
2 sets of twins.
Is that right?
She had a boy and a girl, and then she had 2 boys.
Mhm.
So my mother had 11 children,
11 children.
and they all gone. It's just about, I think, four of us living now.
Is that right?
They're all gone. But I am the oldest living.
You're the oldest living.
Yes.
Okay. You said that were 11 children?
Yes.
Where were you? What number? Were you the?
I am the 3rd child.
Oh, okay.
I was the 3rd child because I had 2 sisters older than I.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I was born, and then I had another sister, and then a set of twins came.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And another child, and then another set of twins.
Yeah. So did your daddy, was he owned the land that you all stayed on initially?
Well, when we, the first children that were born, we were born on the old Billingsley, on the old plantation where, I guess when they give them 40 acres of land, and the older folk,
Right.
but
Right.
whenever they did that.
Yes.
And we lived there until my mother had her first set of twins.
Okay.
And then we moved down on a plantation, on a white man plantation.
Uh-huh.
And we lived, so we grew up with the white children because, it wasn't like it is,
Yeah.
well, like it was, I say, yesterday. It was
Right.
just, children got along, we all played together, we eat together, we lay down, slept on pallets together.
Right.
And just like that, nobody never thought nothing of it.
Yeah. Your maiden name is Billingsley.
Billingsley,
Okay. Are you related to Ozell Billingsley?
well, I think it's some country cousin somewhere, he's out
Okay.
from down in that area.
Okay.
And also my podiatrist came out from down in Perry County.
Is that right?
And the strangest thing, we was talking one day about it in Perry County. He said, I said, you might be some kin with me. And then got to talking, he said, wait, that from Mama Carolina. It was Marcel Billingsley, her son is the principal of Parker High School.
Oh, yeah.
That was my desk mate. His mother was my desk mate
I see.
in high school.
Okay. What was your mother's name?
My mother was a Moore, M-O-O-R-E, F-O Moore.
And what was your dad's name?
Simon Billingsley.
Simon Billingsley. Okay.
L-I-N-G-S-A-Y.
Yeah.
So
And
it spells it with an A, but we always spelled it with a Y.
was he a farmer?
Yes, he didn't know how to farm as well as he should. My mother always accused him for not knowing how to farm, but after all, he did what he knew how to do on the farm. And we made it.
Well, how old were you when you came to Birmingham?
Well, I left Perry County in 1940. I married in 1940. And I was 22. I think I was 22.
Okay.
22 when I left Perry County.
Well, tell me a bit about Perry County. Do you remember your elementary school days?
Oh, yes, I do quite well. You know, I had to walk so far to school. We walked to Perry County School was 2 miles or more where we walked. 1 mile that way, 1 mile that way. And I remember my elementary school teacher. I remember my first elementary school teacher. She was a Morris. And then I had another, Miss White. And then another, Professor Conner. He was a man. And he told me I found a 7th, 8th, and 9th grade book out of a ditch. You kind of called it a landfill. And carried that book back to my last county school teacher. And he taught me independently out that one book for 3 years.
Is that right?
And that made me 3 years advanced when I started to high school. I don't know what kind of book, I don't know whether it was a college book or what it was, but I found it out of a ditch and carried it back and he taught me how to.
Is that right? So what about your high school days? Were you very active in school?
Well, I president of my class every time. They always elected me as president of my class, I guess because I was a little older and knew a little bit more than the ones that were there because I was already prepared when I went there, when I went to high school.
Right.
But
so you went to high school in Perry County?
Yes, I went to in Marion, Alabama.
Marion, okay.
It was a Lincoln Normal High School where I went to school.
Okay.
And we had white and black teachers there then.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Now, is it true that you were in school with Mrs. King?
Yes, we voted together. Her sister and I were classmates.
Yes, that's Coretta's.
That's Coretta was younger than Edith. Edith and I were classmates. And Coretta was young, so I used to comb her hair in the morning time when Edith didn't want to comb it. And so all of that was in voting away from home and living together.
Right, yeah. So Marion was a pretty affluent school at that time, right?
Lincoln Normal was. It was very, very, very good.
Right.
I think I'll tell you a little bit about the history because Alabama State Teachers College grew out of Lincoln Normal High School.
Right, yes.
And it still carries the colors, and when I see the colors, I just say, well, that's my school.
What did you do after high school? Did you go to college?
No, I never went to college no more than went to several colleges around town, you know.
Yes.
Just take a business course and this
Right.
thing and that thing. You know?
Yes.
But I never did.
Okay.
Go to regular college.
So after high school then, did you get married right after high school?
I married out of high school. I didn't graduate from high school.
Okay.
I didn't get no higher than the 10th. And I was old then, and I got. When you found somebody that said they wanted to marry you, then you just went on and married her.
It was that time.
And I went to a mining camp after I got married. I didn't know anything about a mining camp.
What mining camp?
It was,
Here in Birmingham?
yeah, U.S. Pipe and Pipe. Was it U.S. Pipe and Pipe? It was out in Agmar, Alabama.
Agmar, okay. Coal mine.
Coal mining.
Okay. And
that's
your
where I went.
husband was a...
My husband was a coal miner.
Okay.
But he used to work on the top of it.
Okay, he didn't go down in the mine.
He didn't go down in the mine, he went on top.
I see.
But after all, he got killed. My husband got killed on mine, too. After over, in 1971, my husband got killed.
Is that right?
And a son got drowned in 1959, husband got killed in 1971, and a little grandson got killed in 1975. Tragedy.
Right.
So, it's just good to be here.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, when did you move to Birmingham?
I moved to Birmingham in 1940. I mean, let me try to get it right now. I married in 1940. We lived out in Agmar about 2 years. Evidently it was 1940.
42.
Because I had a son, was born shortly after I moved over.
Okay.
My only son now that's living, he was born shortly after I moved over.
Right. What part of Birmingham did you?
16th Street. We lived right in the front of a packing house. You know what a packing house? where you burn everything and it stinks so bad you can't.
What kind of packing house was it? What did they
kill,
burn?
They kill hogs and cows and
Okay.
sheep.
Like the stockyard almost.
Yeah, it was miserable. But
And that was at
we lived
16th
there,
Street?
16th Street and 20th Avenue.
20th
North.
Avenue. Okay.
It was a packing house right in the front of our door.
That's near Fountain Heights, isn't it?
Well,
Not in that
Fountain
area?
Heights is up from there,
Okay.
up from
Right.
from
Enum Ridge.
Enum Ridge. Well, Enum Ridge was in a better place. They had better things up there than they did over on 16th Street. Because all those are old rented houses and all that kind of stuff.
And you did you rent your house or were you buying your house at that time?
Well, we rented at that time. It wasn't mine then.
Yes.
We built a house over our head where we are now today.
Oh, I see.
When we were living over
Mm-hmm.
on 16th Street.
Right.
We built a house.
And how many children did you have?
I had 7 children.
7 children.
7 children. And we built it. I think I wrote about the house my husband built. It was a book.
Oh, yes.
But anyway,
That's a book that you published?
this is one I'm not this book.
Oh, okay.
You don't
What's the
have
name
one?
of it? No, ma'am.
Goldman Threads Right, the Black Family?
Oh, okay. So I have to look
You
at
can,
that.
I have to give it to you. I can only write that and give it to you.
Yes. So you are an accomplished author then. I know that you do poetry and you turn the.
Well, this is about the black family.
Mm-hmm.
Most about the black family, the poems that's in this book.
Right.
But I have another to be published. It's already in the making. If the children ever get enough money to get it going.
Right.
It's about such poems in there like, thanks for the arts of God's handworks. I can see the arts of God's handworks all over the countrysides. Affection showing leaves of color and on the oceans rolling down. Poems like that. You know, it's in the other book that's
Yes,
coming out soon.
Okay. What is your favorite in that piece?
Black sons come forward. Wake up all you black sons of man. Rise up and take a stand. It's the first poem I think they just.
Yeah. Would you recite it for me?
You want to hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
Black sons come forward. Wake up all ye black sons of man. Rise up and take a stand. Reach out to help your brothers and sisters who are struggling throughout the land. But be strong, all you black sons of man. Remember from whence you come. Your roots lead back to Africa. You have a race to run. But take courage, all ye black sons of man, and take pride, and that you can make deep tracks in the sand of time. But understand, you're black sons of man. I forgot the last word. So wake up, be strong, take courage, and come forward to take your stand, black man. I think I skipped the praise.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
But anyway,
That's an original
This is
piece, right? Yes.
I think this is notice what I write about. Black songs come forward.
So how long have you been writing?
I was writing when I was in high school.
So,
I write little poems and poetry, you know, but I didn't get no credit for it, but I just love to write.
oh, yes.
We had a teacher, she could recite poetry. I shot an arrow into the air, it fell to earth. And that just went home with me.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Grace Newell, she was a white woman. And she was good with that poetry. And that's where it caught on.
So you caught on to that and you've been writing ever since?
I've been writing ever since, yes I have.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite piece? What's your favorite piece that you've written? Yes, ma'am.
Well, Black Sons Come Forward is one of my favorites, and Mother's Love Cannot Be Measured. I like that.
Yes.
It's on page 50. You should read it sometime.
Okay.
I'll leave this with you.
Okay. Now, you were rather active during the civil rights era.
Well, I done the best I could. I used to see them all.
Tell me about that. How did you? I know that you met all of the notable. Dr. King ate in your restaurant. You were the owner of the fraternity cafe, right?
John Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King used to be there, and Andrew Young. And furthermore, Andrew married a girl out from Marion, because I guess he went down, he used to pastor a church in Marion once one time. But anyway, they all would meet there to eat, and They would cook. My dinner cooks, I had 2 sets of cooks. One to cook, a dinner cook, and then I had 2 short order cooks. And 4 waitresses. And that's what I worked with. That's one half of the time we didn't have what we should have had, but thank God we had what we had. And we shared it with the civil rights movement people.
Right.
I had every one of them's name that was marching. And when I would say their name, I'd keep their names, put on what they eat, and then we would send that to Atlanta. I said, wherever the headquarters was, we'd send it there, and they would send me a check.
Oh, is that right?
They paid for their food.
Pay for the food.
They just put on what they eat, and I put on keep up with what they eat.
Right. And where was your restaurant located?
And my restaurant was next to the Masonic Temple. It was a little taxi cab place. The first little place was a little taxi cab place, but it was in the same building that my place was in, and then the next door was right.
So that's right on 14th, between 16th and 17th.
16th and 17th Street. Yes, that's where we were.
Right. What do you remember about Birmingham before the movement?
Well, it was kind of rough. I just tell you like it is. Because one half the time you was afraid to be caught out in a place where you go places, but you didn't feel free to go about visiting and traveling around at night like you did after the struggle.
Yeah. Why didn't you feel free to travel around at night?
Well, I'll just tell you like it is, we had some thugs out there and always did have them, and they always will be already. And you was afraid that I was, and going out places at night, you know, what might happen to you. And I had children, you see, a lot of little children, one right behind them. But after all, this brought about today.
How did you get involved in the business?
Well, my first job, it was in 1959. I had a son go to Morehouse College. He got drowned down there. My oldest son got drowned at Morehouse College. He was there 3 weeks and got drowned. But anyway, he was getting ready to go to college, and I went down to, it was Wigglesome School, was right below my house. And I went down there to see if I could apply for a job there for the fall of the year. And the principal was there, which was Mr. John Norman. You might knew Mr. Norman.
Right.
I went down and asked if I could apply for a job there. What you did first said, how come you want to work? I said, well, I had a son going to Morehouse and I wanted to try to give him his spending change. And
What job were you applying for?
Any job they had for counting money, because I could count money. I could always count money. I was good in mathematics. And he had a little job for a cashier, and I applied for a cashier job. And you can guess what I was getting a month. It was, I think it was $20 for a month. It was $1 a day what I was getting, and I was just so happy. And he asked me what was I got to do with the money. I said, give it to my son who's going to Morehouse College in September. And I got the job. And I worked there, I don't know how many years I worked there until I put in for Fraternal Cafe, I think I did.
How did you decide to get involved with opening the cafe?
Well, the cafe was already open.
Okay.
And I got a job as being a cashier.
I see.
And that's how I got to be the owner of the Fraternal Cafe by applying for a job there. And I went there and I did so well for the folk that were there. And they got ready to move out. But I inherited it.
Yes.
I didn't necessarily inherit, but we paid for it.
Right.
From him.
Who were the people that owned it before?
See, there's 2 sisters. No, that was only Dr.
It's a
Hunter.
long time
I
ago,
can't, my mind can't think of.
Sure.
Was it Miss Davis? Miss Davis, it was a Davis, a sister.
Okay. And you worked there for several years
I worked there 2 years before
before you
I
bought
bought
it.
it.
Is that right? Okay. Why did they decide to sell?
they just said, found somebody that could run it. They thought, and that was me. And they decided to come out of it because they was old. They got old and everything. And so I got there and did the best I could with it. Everybody that said they needed a job, I hired them. And paid them a little bit, just like they was paying us a little bit until we needed it. We made it.
Did your children ever work in the cafe?
Yes, my children come. They would walk from Parker High School down to the cafe to work. It was the older children that did. I mean, my younger children, because my older children was already in college and coming. But I just thank God for that cafe. That cafe gave me 2 lawyers, 2 counselors, a hospital administrator, a speech therapist, and a businessman. And I just thank the Lord for that cafe.
Really blessed.
I was blessed. Yes, I was.
Yes. Tell me a bit about the 4th Avenue district during that time.
Well, the folks didn't hang out on it. Some of the folks hung out on 4th Avenue, but certain classes of folk just didn't hang them down the street next. You would expect a person that was about anything to just hang out on the block all the time.
But were there theaters and entertainment in the area that people did?
Just come to the Carver Theater was right across the street from my cafe, and I seen them when they first started marching. I seen them turn the water hose on Carlton Reese and knock them high as that theater, and he hit the ground singing, they don't let nobody turn around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom.
So you were right in the middle of all
Right in the middle
that.
of all that. All of that, I was right in the middle. And had to drive to work every day and go to work. But I made it, and I have been missed twice. I was coming down, I think it was 11th Avenue or 10th Avenue one morning, going a shortcut, going the back road. And a piece of iron come right straight across, it's about long as, right straight across in front of my car, and it didn't touch me.
A piece of iron?
It's a piece of iron, it was a
right?
pipe, it was an iron pipe. Somebody threw it,
Mm.
and it missed me. And another time, a piece of iron pipe come down off of my cafe. I was coming to get in my car, and it missed me. Come right by me, missed me. God is good.
All the time.
See, I know
Yeah, that's
He's good. From me always.
Were you ever involved? Did you ever go to any of the mass meetings?
I didn't go to the mass meeting because I been busy all day and got to see that your groceries, what you're gonna serve the next day. You got to go pick up this thing, that thing. I didn't go to the mass meeting.
You had to prepare to feed the movement.
Feed the movement.
Some people said that you were the breadbasket for the movement.
Well, I was. Man, there's a lot of people eat there, didn't pay.
Yes.
And I know.
Right.
But God knows I did what I could. The bread basket, I like that. I'm gonna write me a poem about it now.
Yes. What do you remember about Dr. King?
Well, I didn't come so close of contact with Dr. King, because when Dr. King would come in, they mostly have just like you have these little meetings,
Right.
Nobody can disturb you, all that stuff. You had meetings inside. And I never was the person to stand over people to see what they was talking about.
Sure. But you knew his wife.
Yeah, Coretta and I, we lived together. I used to call her Ed in the morning when Edith wouldn't call me. Edith and I were classmates.
Did she ever come over during the movement and eat at your place?
I can't remember whether Coretta come along with Dr. King or no, I really don't.
Right.
Unless it was in the evening after hour off or something like that.
You said you had a son to go to Morehouse in 1959. Was that your oldest child?
Yeah, that was my oldest child, and he got drowned 3 weeks after he was there. Sure was, my oldest son. So I had studied to be a doctor. That's what you see he wanted to be.
Right. You had 7 children, right?
Yeah, I had 7 children and raised a stepson. I didn't know my husband had a son until I was married. And I looked on the mail that night. I said, "Whose switch is that?" He said, "Well, wait a minute, sit down." I sat down. And then he told me all about it. Now, wasn't that a fine time?
After you married.
Oh, that took so much out of it. But I went on. I said, "Well, listen, if they made you marry the girl to say the baby's name," I said, "they shouldn't make you, have to make you take care And about 3 weeks after that, they brought the baby and left him with my mother-in-law. And she moved in with me, took the baby right in and raised him. Yes. He's seen now, he don't even know he in the world.
Well, you have been termed the rapping grandmother. Why do they call you the rapping grandmother?
Well, I tell you, they think this rap thing is something new. And it's not new, it's old. It's rapping when I was a child, they didn't call it rapping. Don't you remember Hambone, have you heard? Mama gonna buy me a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama gonna buy me a diamond ring. All that stuff. Now that was a long time ago. And so I tell them rapping didn't mean anything new. It's just a fast switch in the tone that people got and get your attention right quick.
Right.
And the reason why they call me the rapping grandmama, because I rape the children. Now listen everybody, I can tell you from the start, you better get Jesus in your heart. You don't believe God does what he means? Read your Bible, John 3:16. Because some of the word that he sent his son, that you should know his will must be done. I had the children say, get Jesus in your heart. I said, I know you don't want to come to schools, but after all, you got to have some God somewhere. That's why I'm telling you, you don't believe God meant for you to live clean. Read your Bible, Matthew 5:16. Jesus said to let your light so shine. So you watch my light, and I'll watch thine. Get Jesus in your heart. But listen, young folk, don't think you had it made because you was born in a city, ready than the shade. But down your life, if you expect to succeed, you got to get an education and work for your need. Then I tell them how hard I had to work. I worked on a farm from sun to sun. The work on the farm won't ever die. Get up in the morning, make my bed, go to the kitchen, cook the family's bread. I went to the barn, I had to milk the cow, pull up bees to feed the horse and child. I brought water from a popular spring. Children nowadays wouldn't think of such a thing. I went to the woods to raw bees for honey. In those days there wasn't anybody. The baby said, what you talking about, Grandma? What I'm talking about folk like you and me. Now on the fairy kind of farm like it used to be. I got my mic. Oh, Grandma. And I tell them a whole lot of things I've done on the farm. I went to the vines, I picked blackberries, I climbed up trees, picked wild cherries, picked up potatoes by the bushel and the bag. I picked cotton and didn't even stay. It made no difference how hard the sun, you had to keep on working till the task was done. Made no difference how hard you had to work, you had to get up every Sunday and walk to church. Now what you talking about, Grandma? Talking about folk like you and me, not on a fair kind of farm like it used to be. Then I go through my little breathing spell again.
Right.
And then I tell them about the fairy kind of folk know this is a fact. We pull little peanuts, we put them in a stack. We shell corn till our fingers got sore. Before they got well, we had to shell some more. We pull watermelons from the watermelon vine, then they pickle and preserve from the watermelon rind. Now that's history and it's true.
That's right. That is.
It's true. It's really true.
That's right.
And I thank God for that. I don't know. They say, how come you decided to put in a rap? I said, rapping isn't anything new. No, they had rap songs when we was coming up.
And the children loves.
That's right. And I'm like, there's a lot of things children think this is something new come along. This has been done before.
Right.
Done before.
So when you're rapping about life.
Right, real life. That's right. That's how I did. And I like to do that, but I'm not directing on my little twisting ain't going on. I don't do that kind of rapping. That ain't my style of rapping.
Right.
I can stand on a place and tell you anything I want you to know.
That's good. What are some of the other areas that you rap in? Some of the other raps.
Some of my rap songs. I don't think I rap anything but this part of my autobiography. Tell the truth. Well, I tell them about staying in school.
Tell me that rap.
Let's see now. I walked 2 miles to a Perry County school. I studied real hard. I never broke a rule. The Lincoln Long High School was 6 miles or more. I wanted an education, so that's why I had to go. Because you see, I never smoked dope, nor snorted cocaine. I learned real early that it mess up the brain. Stayed away from cigarettes and other things that harm. I planned to succeed through my knowledge and my charm. Kept my mind in the right direction. Trust God for his protection. Never had regret. The path I took, but glad I stayed with my school book. Again, young folk, I tell you no lie, don't yield to peer pressure that later make you cry. Cause you see, these just a few things that I had to do. But I thank God I made it through. But if I had to die and be born again, I'd go back to Perry County where I began. Oh, I just love around there.
You're good. You're good.
I like to do my rap, but because it tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story.
Right. That's right.
It's very true. And if I had to die, I know I had to be born again, I'd go back down home, and that's where I'd be born.
So doing the rapping about the movement?
I hadn't made one about the movement yet.
Mm-hmm.
I sure had.
Yes.
Oh, that put a thought in my head.
What about religion? Have you done anything on religion?
Well, I hadn't did on religion no more than tell them no, I hadn't had one in the religious field yet. Still just playing on, it's part of my autobiography.
All of them, okay.
And I just like to do what I'm doing. And children, and I love to warn these young folk. I tell them how I went to Bowling Green trees to make cold and a kill. I brought water from the spring. Children nowadays with things since I went to the woods and brought bees for honey. In those days there wasn't that much. But it's all about just plain everyday work that you had to do in the country on a farm.
Well, how does the children relate to that kind of work and the things that you
they just go crazy about it. They just, oh God, I just think they listen at the tune. You understand? They listen at the tune. I bet you they couldn't tell you a word I had to say when I got to.
Especially when you use your microphone.
Always when I get the microphone and I'm breathing. I'm breathing.
Right.
And this music, go Brad,
Where do you perform?
When do I perform?
Yes.
Whenever they invite me. They invite me to come and go, I will. And I didn't think about, I started off by saying, listen to everybody, I can tell you from the start, you better get Jesus in your heart. Now I forgot that people don't talk about Jesus in school anymore. And Sandra told me one day, I said, no, why come Sandra? I ain't gonna stop using my Jesus name. I don't care where I have to go. And then I thought about why she said to me that when you're going into school, you have to be careful when you talk about Jesus. And that's the truth. They don't.
They probably need to hear.
Oh, they need to hear it, but they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I say this triple tone. I don't know what kind of dancing they doing. I call it triple tone.
What do you call it?
Triple tone.
Triple tone.
Listen to me. I used to dance, though. I used to be a dancer. I used to go dance. I think I did anything a child could do. And to learn how to do it, I used to be a tap dancer.
Oh, you did?
It was 8 of us used to tap together out in Lebanon. And we'd make them shoes tall.
Where did you tap?
On stage.
In
Lebanon in high school.
Okay.
In high school. Yes.
So you have been quite active then all of your life.
All of my life, as long as I knew I could do anything, I never sat in the back. I never got in the back row. I moved to the front because I feel like that's where you're going to learn something. You can't stay on the background. You can't stay long, keep your head down. You got to come out from back there. Come on out back there and get out there and see what it's about. And I did the best that I knew how to do.
How long did you run the fraternal cafe?
From 1959, you see, I worked there 2 years before I bought it. To 19... When did I come out of business? I can't remember right now when I come out, but...
But did you sell it? Did you sell it?
No, I didn't. I just left everything in there and walked out of it and went home.
Is that right?
I had got tired, and I just went home. I think I got some shares with them now, and that's the only thing I got now. I think I gave Mr. Parker, or somebody the fan, the exhaust, the fan that was in the front. But I don't know what because so.
Did you own the building or did you rent the building?
No, I just rent the building.
But that equipment was
was
yours.
mine, all the equipment now was mine, such as all the stoves and ice refrigerators and ice makers and whatever was in there, it was mine.
Mm.
But I just got tired,
Mm.
and I just walked out of it.
Right.
Just got tired.
What did you do after you left there?
What did I do for real? I think I rested a while.
You retired.
Yeah, I retired because I was old enough to. Was I old enough to retire when I left from out there? I guess I was. So, being 7 now, I guess I was.
So you so just been enjoying life since then?
Yeah, I did a lot of traveling.
Where have you traveled to?
Well, I hadn't went out of the country,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd go to California when anytime I thought I needed to go west, I went west. Go to Cleveland, and
Is this where your children are?
That's where my son, one of my sons is in California.
Mm-hmm.
And he come and spend Mother's Day with me. My church was Sunday morning, and my birthday was the day before Mother's Day. So he come in and go to church with his mama. That's my oldest son. He is an attorney, and his wife is too.
Where is he?
In Sacramento.
Sacramento.
And the reason why she's I claim 2 attorneys because she is one. Because when he finished law school, she wanted to go in, and no young lawyers don't make enough money to boil the egg. Yeah.
That's true.
And so I sent her on. I said, well, I'm down here. I got this job down here. I said, oh,
That's great.
God is good.
You know, Birmingham has had a history of being a really hardcore segregated city.
Yeah.
And over time, though, it has changed. How do you see it has changed over time?
Well, you know, it's really have changed some. Because white folks and black folks just didn't get together before the civil rights. Because if they seen a black white man sitting in your place or white woman, they're all out.
Did any whites ever come to your place?
Came once or twice. Some white folks came in my place, and when you knew anything, police was right there.
And
Where you
asked
get
them
them
to
out?
leave? Is that-
Yeah, they asked them to leave. Well, I didn't bother because I was raised up with white folks.
Mhm.
I know when we was raised, white folks got along. Black and white folks got along together. There's one little spot I remember. I can remember this little place well when the white woman before integration. White woman told my mama one time, Ethel, so you know to tell me when we all get to heaven, we always gonna be the same. I said, yes, Miss Maggie said, that's what the Bible said. She hold on a little bit further. My mama was in the front. Then she called my mama again, Ethel. My mama said, yes, Miss Maggie. She said, but you know we won't like that. Tell my wife, I said, you ain't got nothing to worry about. She said, you won't be there.
That's what your mother said.
That's what my mother said to her, said, you don't have anything to worry about, because you won't be there. And she didn't never thought. And I dreams about that place right now, open. And when I dream about my mama, I dream about what she said to Miss Jackson. And the last time I dreamed about it, I said, well, we used to make a shortcut across this path to go right on up right at the cemetery and go in our backyard. She said, yes, but don't make no shortcuts. So I got right up, wrote me a point, there ain't no shortcuts to glory. Stay in the middle of the road. Up, down, I don't care what you need to do. There ain't no shortcuts. And that's what comes to me. I write about a lot of my dreams.
Yes.
So I am a dreamer.
Yes, well, that's good. You have to be a dreamer.
Got to be a dreamer.
Yes,
But I write about my dreams. And I can remember. But I've been having a lot of trouble with these eyes of mine.
Well, you look mighty good. How old are you now?
I'm 77 years old.
77.
God is good, isn't he?
Sure is.
But God is a good God.
That's right.
And I still try to move around and do the best that I can and do what I can do.
Well, I see you at a lot of functions, and so you're still moving and still setting that positive example for us.
Well, I'm trying to do the best I can, and you just have to get on out there.
That's right.
Just go on and pick up, go get on. Because it bothers me to see children You dragging around the folks and put them on the little clothes and then dragging them around. They won't walk straight. Straighten yourself up. Get on out there and walk right.
That's right. Okay, Ms. Russell, it's really been a pleasure talking with you. And do you have any final words that you'd like to say, or a final rap that you'd like to leave with us?
Well, all I can tell you, if you want me to do a last rapping of the rapping of my rap, because I can tell you from the start, you better get Jesus in your heart. You don't believe God does what he means? Read your Bible, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he sent his son. And you should know his will must be done. So get Jesus in your heart. Get Jesus in your heart. If you don't believe God meant you to live clean, read your Bible, Matthew 5:16. Jesus said to let your light so shine. So you watch my light and I'll watch thine. Get Jesus in your heart. Get Jesus in your heart. Well, I guess that'll wind up.
Thank you.
Not much. That's just a little bit of it. But
That's a lot. That's a lot. And I appreciate it.
well, you know you're welcome, Mr. Hurley.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, I will put it, Mr. Hurley.